how the Port of Antwerp benefited from the Chinese economic reemergence?
We have seen over the last 8 years that China stepped up in the ranking of most important trading partners for Port of Antwerp. And if I can give you some figure that will clearly show it. In last year, when we look at the total volumes going through the Port of Antwerp, China was our number 3 partner, representing about 6% of the total volumes. But if you look at containerized cargo only, they are number 2 after the United States. So our second trading partner with almost 12% of the total containerized cargo going through the port. So it is a crucial partner for Port of Antwerp, and it grows importance. And if we even look at the difficult period of last year and the first 6 months of this year, we see an increase of 10% plus in the volumes coming from China and going to China. So yes, I can only see from the figures that the Port of Antwerp is a gateway to and from Europe for Chinese cargo.
Clearly, for your country, for the Port of Antwerp, the Chinese economic transformation is immense opportunity. Now, since 2013, we have a lot of conversation, discussions around the strategic project of the Belt and Road. And of course, it is also about the maritime connections. How do you see the Belt and Road initiative from a big port like the Port of Antwerp?
The Port of Antwerp is much more than just a maritime transit point. We see ourselves really as a logistics nodal point where the different transport modes come together. So we obviously have since many years maritime connections with China, like we have with almost every port around the world. But with China, there are, of course, daily connections between the major Chinese ports and the Port of Antwerp. But we also are an important rail port. So when you look at the Belt and Road Initiative, it put again emphasis not only on this maritime connection, which in the Belt and Road is called the road. It's a bit confusing. The maritime thing is the road. And the land bridge, the rail bridge, which is called the Belt, got again new attention. And so for the Port of Antwerp, that wants to be connected through the different modes of transport, this was an opportunity. So we have seen an increase in Chinese cargo, but also cargo from the countries between China and Belgium, transported by rail to the Port of Antwerp via direct trains, but also via indirect trains. So which means trains which are going to inland hubs in Europe, and then a part of the train continues its trip to the Port of Antwerp. So for us, it was enriching basically the offer that we can make to supply chain managers. So they can make a choice depending on the time transit, depending on the price. They can make choices between maritime transport, rail transport, and even air transport. Look at the proximity of the airports of Liège and Brussels. So Belt and Road, with regard to connectivity, gave a boost to the rail transport. And another important aspect of the Belt and Road is, of course, that it gave an input to looking at investments. We have already an important presence of a company like COSCO Ports in our port. We would love to see further development. Obviously, we will look at the business case and the conditions, but also there, the Belt and Road Initiative could be a push to see further investments in our port.
I am sure that you will see much more Chinese investors because, as you said, at the Port of Antwerp, you have the land dimension and you have, of course, the maritime dimension. But we live in a world in which, of course, lands matter, maritime connections matter, but the cyberspace matters also tremendously. And of course, China is doing very well in the field of e-commerce. What does it mean for you, the boom of the e-commerce?
Again, this gave a boost to the Port of Antwerp as well. E-commerce in general we have seen a tremendous boost of that business going through the port, which proves that e-commerce matured. It's not only about fast delivery by air freight, more and more is done via e-commerce, and we prefer the word omni-channel, different ways of delivering goods to the end consumer. And we see more and more that it's a combination of air freight, sea freight, and rail freight as a result of the Belt and Road developments. So for a port like Antwerp, basically it enriches again our possibilities.
It's fantastic. Of course, the Chinese economic reemergence is very good for the Chinese people themselves. But as we can see through the eyes, through the concrete example of the Port of Antwerp, it does enrich all of us. Thank you very much to be a part of this, in a sense, of course, Chinese century, in a sense.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure being with you.
Thank you.